Welcome to Perception Vibes, where the vibe is to only be perceived by the music. There's already enough shade within the shade room, so we will not be discussing news, politics, gossip, anything of that nature which is to be debated, if it is outside of the music or creation of music. My name is Breez, and this is my co-host, Shake B.
And today we're talking about the evolution of R&B.
All right, let's evolve then.
Yeah.
Let's evolve then.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're loving these perceptions of R&B.
Yeah. So I want to dive into the evolution of R&B, and I decided to choose, what was it, 70s. I chose the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s because I feel like the 70s was the start, from my perception, of where I began to enjoy the R&B. Not saying that anything before that in the 60s or the 50s was anything different. It's just that when I get to searching for the old school music that we grew up on, and even things that I may have stumbled upon on my own as I got deeper into music, I feel like the 70s was the start for me. But I also want to take the approach from the producer engineer side for me. The producer and engineer of me likes to break it down into songs. So possibly the original, when it was sampled by different decades, and what we may be hearing now. I want people to understand that every decade, I've said this before, but I'm going to continue to say it. Every decade we have, the sound of music changes. So the new artists that are coming out now in these beginning stages of the early 2020s, you are in the perfect position to really change the way music is for this decade, and maybe even moving forward. Like, look at, for instance, Drake changed the way music sounds for the 2010s. I feel like the 2000s, it was like, I feel like music overall, for our music overall, R&B and rap, went through a big change. So it's kind of really hard to say for the 2000s who changed it, because then you can argue Hot Boys, Wayne, Cash Money. I feel like it was more like the labels, like the independent labels, or the labels that were signed under major labels. Those were the ones that changed the 2000s, because you had Rockefeller, you had Cash Money, you had DTP, you had Nelly. You had like all of those different groups. It was groups of people that were changing the sounds during the 2000s.
Crunkville too. You can't leave out Crunkville.
Oh yes, definitely Lil Jon. Like it was so many. Even Timberland went through a switch from the sound that he had in the 90s to what he had in the 2000s. The 90s, I feel like, pretty much going based off of how Versus went with Teddy Riley and Babyface, they were the producers that changed the sound in the 90s. The 80s, it was Mike. Like we discussed with Who Popped R&B, Mike changed the sound for the 80s. It was like it went from those R&B love songs that you heard in the 70s, in the 60s, to being more of upbeat tempo with the 80s. In the 70s is I felt like the 70s I felt like was coming from that was like the disco era. But for R&B, I felt like it was the big band. You know, you had everybody being able to play instruments, and you look forward to the show performances of the artists in the 70s. So, new artists, take advantage. Take advantage because it's going to shift. My prediction is by 2024 we're going to have a new sound, a new way of creating music, like what is on the mainstream way. I don't quite know what it's going to be, but I feel like there's going to be a shift, and I'm going to make sure I got my hands in it to be a part of that shift.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at the 70s, I was looking at the Isley Brothers in particular, and they have over 30 albums. I did not know that they had that many albums.
Wow.
But what caught my attention was the fact that it took about 12 years before I found one song that I knew of, and it was Summer Breeze. And I'm like, okay, y'all had all of this, like y'all continuously kept putting out music. It wasn't necessarily some of them were like remake songs, like cover songs. So those, I feel like when it comes to cover songs, you pretty much can't lose with doing a cover song that was out earlier in years that may not have seen or been able to touch a certain amount of people. So when I saw Summer Breeze, I'm like, wow, that took 12 years for me to hear, for them to put out something like Summer Breeze. And then it was like after Summer Breeze, after that, every album had at least one of my favorite songs from the Isley Brothers on there. And
now, is that because you legit did not know some of the songs, or you just didn't know certain names of it? Because you can hear something and it's like, oh, I do know that song, but you don't know the name.
No, for the most part, with me, always rambling through mommy stuff. The Isley Brother albums that she had, none of those songs that were on any of those early albums that they had out. Some of them was like, I think there was a Twist and Shout song on there. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like the original Twist and Shout. I'm not gonna like the Isley Brothers Twist and Shout either. So I'm talking about like something that was completely their sound, and it was Summer Breeze.
Yeah. And you can even talk about that being something that has kind of evolved with music. It's like album covers. Like I remember certain albums just based off of the album cover. Like you talk about Isley Brothers. I remember seeing the blue album cover with the floor.
That was the Love Songs album,
and that had footsteps.
Right?
Yeah. See, I remember all the album covers from the.
I think we missed the era I think we were the end of the generation where albums were still being made. So some of them we do see. Some of them we did see, and then most of them was like CDs. Like we had a whole bunch of CDs.
Yeah.
And then, mommy she skated. So, every time she would come home, she had a bunch of mix. So it's a lot of songs out here that I don't necessarily know what album they go to, but I know when I hear that song, I know who that person is.
Right.
So that's where I am a little upset, because it's like I didn't get to see what that album cover was, so I know when I'm looking for this particular song what to look for. Okay, it looks like that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. 30 albums.
Yeah.
Over however many decades, 30 albums. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And then to see how they progressed, because they started at the end of the 50s, they did the 60s, and then the 70s. That's when I came across 73 was when Summer Breeze came out. So from like 73 up until even in the early 90s, early 2000s, like we got Ron Isley by itself, but it's still the Isley brothers. So, and everybody our generation know about Contagious. So it's like they had a very successful career. And I like that.
Now, what about their sound did you appreciate from the Isley Brothers?
The band. I like the band and the uniqueness of Ron's voice because it was different. That's what I feel like a lot. There was the opportunity for a lot of artists back then is if you had your band, everybody playing their own, like everybody has their own way of playing different instruments. And if you can get them collectively together to be one accord, it's beautiful. And I feel like the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodores, all of those, like when you look at them, like they don't sound the same.
Yeah.
But they all had bands. And everybody played well, all of it. You let them do certain things. You might have drum solos, you might have keyboard solos, you might have guitar solos, you might have all of these things, and then you bring it back into that into the vocals, the instrument of the vocals, all of that blended together is beautiful.
And the music didn't just stop. Like when you're listening to those songs from those groups, it's like the music, even if the vocals aren't there, you still have something that you can just vibe to. Like it'll be a 6-minute song, and probably 4 minutes is you waiting for the vocals to come in, and then you'll have another 2 minutes of the beat just playing out. But you appreciated that.
Yes, you got those long intros, them 2-3 minute intros. You do that shit now. Half of them gonna turn the song.
Yeah, you be like, all right, come on.
But it was like even with Parliament, with George Clinton and all of them, Bootsy Collins, like they gave you those long intros. But then like people take, for instance, like Travis Scott's and Drake's Sicko.
Yeah.
How it switched to 2 different songs.
Right.
Y'all think that was the first time that it has ever been done? Y'all need to go and listen to Parliament, because first 5 minutes of the song is one vibe, and then you switch over into it's a whole nother thing. Like, wow. And then you got to think about it like me from a producer engineer standpoint. Back then, you did not have the luxury of the equipment that you have now. So you had to make sure that you got those key changes, the tempo changes, and everything had to be on cue. You had to be on point. That is hard. And then the fact that they were recording it on to the record, or if they were recording it onto tape, you cannot fuck up.
Yeah.
There's no room for error.
Yeah.
So this is where a lot of people say that they don't like this new music now, is because you don't have to have the masterpiece, you don't have that of being able to play an instrument. You gotta know when to switch into, okay, I know that the drums are going to switch over into this, and then what am I supposed to play on the piano, or what am I supposed to play with the guitar? Like you had to, because you couldn't waste no time in no studio. And then even the sound, like I feel like there are a lot of music that needs to be remastered because it doesn't, because of the equipment that they had to use back then, and when you play it versus what we're listening to now, it doesn't match up and it doesn't sound right. Not saying that it doesn't sound right, it's just not
up to newer technology.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask about that because I'm skipping a couple generations, but Anita Baker talked about how her music that's on DSPs right now is remastered not how she wants it to sound or not according to the original sound. And she doesn't like that. A part of her fighting for her masters is her fighting for her to get the originals as well.
Right. That's what it means when you're saying I want to buy back my masters.
You want the original thing.
You want the original. You want the original, the one that's archived somewhere in somebody's warehouse where they have all of the masters.
So they can't manipulate it in any kind of way to make.
See what I think is supposed to happen is that okay, you figure Anita Baker was 80s, 90s. So you have those were still being recorded to two track tape. So those are remember how the cassette tapes were? Think of it on a bigger scale. And on those tapes, they're split up in different tracks. So she wants to be able to take those reels of tape and take it to a mastering studio. And she wants to be able to run that tape into the system and master them the way that she wants to hear that. So if she says that she wants to hear the rhythm section a little bit louder but not overpowering my vocals, this is what she's asking for.
That's deep. That's deep.
So a lot of times what they probably did is they probably just sent the shit just sent it to somebody to master, and all the fuck they did was take the tape and just raise the volume of the song.
Wow.
So you lose the integrity of the sound.
Wow.
That's what she's fighting for. She wants to be able to do it the way that she wants to do it. And I think it's dead wrong. Y'all need to give her shit and leave her be.
Yeah.
That is, no. We gonna get into Anita soon, very soon.
Yeah.
But I would like to start with with the Isley Brothers. There was a song called Hello It's Me. Everybody know that one, right?
Hello, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. Oh.
I came to find out that somebody had did it before them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name was Todd Run. I ain't even about to
Butcher his name like that.
No, I'm not gonna butcher his name like that. But he did it in 1972. It's the same exact song, kind of has the same vibe. Let's find it.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Okay.
Right. So we got that one.
I wonder what made them say, you know what? Let's hook this up real quick because yeah. Wow. And now I'm piecing all the remakes of that song together, and it's like, wow.
Yes.
Now that's evolution. That's how you evolve.
Yes.
R&B music. Wow.
And then you got the Isleys.
Yes.
Right. Let me see where that's funny. Yeah.
Holding to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Now that I hear the original and I hear theirs, they didn't really change it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it still gives that feel.
Right.
You still get the feel from the original.
Right. You just got a slower, mellow type vibe.
Yeah.
So then all of the arguments that we have now that people do not like the fact that they're taking songs that we grew up on the 90s and 2000s, it's like, we kind of gotta shut up because it's been done. They're going to keep doing it, and we got to get over it. But at the same time, it's like, I still don't like it. I still don't like it.
But why not?
Oh, and then I forgot. So it was done one more time. Miss Erykah Badu
Yes.
and Andre 3000.
Yes.
I love their version of it too.
Quite beautiful.
Yes.
But you know what? That song, to be honest, I knew it was a remake, but I forgot about the Isley Brothers. I forgot.
Oh, so you knew that when you heard the song that you've heard it before, you just didn't know who it was.
Where I got it from.
Yes, and I'm sorry, but I feel like Andre 3000 killed this verse on here. Let's see.
That was a good part to start. And then just like Erykah, like
hard, man.
Man, that is, if you want to know the definition of creative, that woman right there. That woman right there, Erykah Badu. Shouts to Erykah Badu 5 times.
So, if you had to choose between the Isley's version or Erykah's and Andre's, who you choosing?
Shout out to Erykah Badu 6 times, okay? Because I love them all. I love them all. I really do.
Yeah.
It's just like, but what I like about it is you can pick what mood you're in.
Right.
You can choose what mood you're in. Like if you're in a slow vibe and you still want to hear that, cool, go with the Isley Brothers.
Right.
If you in a, more modern slow vibe, cool, go with Erykah Badu. I'm not sure I will ever listen to Todd.
No.
But shout out to Todd. Shout out to Todd for paving the way for, these remakes.
Yeah. So, like, the song Damaged by her, that is a simple song. That was from the 80s.
What?
Yeah, that one was from the 80s, and that one is by...
You about to blow my mind. I already know it.
Yeah, I am.
Because it's like when you hear the original, you like, what?
Yep. Because it got, who you got on that shirt over there in that song?
Oh, shout out to Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Janet. Because, you know what? I tried to match the vibe of what we're talking about. You know the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to evolve real quick.
Mm-hmm.
She need to come out with some more music.
Her? Yeah. But I need more like Damage.
This is the original?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Shake B.
Huh?
Let's give a shout out to Shake B, man. You always coming through with like letting us know, like,
Yeah, but see, my whole thing with doing Perception Vibes is to show people, because I think I see a lot of R&B Instagram pages. I see a lot of stuff on there, on TikTok as well. And my thing is that most of y'all are only sticking to the songs that everybody already should know.
Yeah.
They should know. I'm trying to put you on to stuff that you missed.
Yeah.
So, I think I did say something in hers comment when she first dropped this song, and somebody tried to clap back at me real quick. I thought it was funny.
Not the clap back.
Yeah, because my initial reaction was like, because I'm always gonna go for Cleveland 1st over everything. So my initial reaction was like, all right, come through with the Bone sample. But I already knew that this was from the 80s. I just didn't want to go to that song first. I want to shout out Bone.
Okay.
So here is the here's the Bone version that was on one of my favorite movies, the Set It Off soundtrack.
Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you point out the different perceptions of the music, because it's like, if I'm hearing a song, if it's not so obvious that this is a sampled song, I won't know until you said, okay, but that's from, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm mind blown. So now I'm ready to hear which Bone song. Wow.
Same thing.
Wow.
You hear it?
Yeah. Cause all I hear is when the song first come on, when Damage first comes on. That's all I hear. Wow.
Yes.
Shout out to this producer engineer to the right of me. My right, your left.
Yes. And then sticking with Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So people have been trying. Well, the obvious song that people sampled from Janet was Anytime, Any Place, which was Kendrick. People don't know about Would You Mind, because this came out, this is one of my favorite. See, my Janet Jackson, the part that I like, y'all can have Escape, y'all can have I Get Lonely, all of that.
She taking y'all back to the bedroom.
I don't care. I don't care.
She taking y'all back to the bedroom.
This is the Janet that I love.
But this album was 06, huh? About 06 to 04,
No,
03.
This was 2001.
Oh. I stand corrected.
It is 2001. Right? That's the Janet right there, right?
Songwriting.
That's the Janet. I love the Let's Wait a While.
It's so subtle,
but if you give me the Funny How Time Flies, you give me that. You give me Someday Is Tonight. Them the Janet songs that I like. Rope Burn. Y'all, some of y'all are sleeping on Janet and don't even realize it. So Janet got some slow cuts. Okay, so you got that Janet, and then you have. I swear I'm gonna keep bringing them up just to piss you off.
Who are we talking about?
Wait a second, I'm gonna find it for you.
This is not even about to be cool. Oh my God. Eric, you have arrived again.
Just to make you mad.
Let me see. See what I'm saying? If I leave here saying, all right.
Right, so you got that one with the Would You Mind sample, and then you have Bryson Tiller.
It's already in my head. In mine either.
You a hater. You a hater.
It wasn't a bad song,
No, it
but it was quite
wasn't.
repetitive, quite catchy there. Which album is this?
This is Trap Soul, Bryson Tiller, the deluxe version.
Oh, look, put me on real quick. I'm hearing. Okay. Didn't know. Put me on real quick.
Yeah. So it's okay. Like the line has been blurred because I don't really recall R&B songs really being sampled that much in the 90s. I felt like they were more so covers than it was actually taking the music. I felt like that was more of a rap thing in the beginning.
Okay, yeah,
with the
yeah.
hip hop in the beginning stages of hip hop, I felt like those songs was more. And then in the 90s with the sampling, it was a little bit harder for you to be able to hear certain songs that were sampled. You had to like really know the song in order for you to be able to pick it out. Whereas now we're in a stage where I feel like the 2010s, it was you taking a piece of a song, a piece of the music, and you chop it up. And then there were certain lyrics that you may have used, whereas in these 2020s, I'm seeing that we're just taking the whole entire song. We're not necessarily, we're not necessarily taking the original music for it. We're probably finding people who can actually play the melody, or there may be pieces of the original on top of adding the melody. But for the overall song, you know what song it is. Like, we got I think it was more so in rap. I don't know. No, because Queen Naja did a song. What song was that? Oh, Erykah Badu's On and On.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had
She did that?
yeah, I think it was. Which song was that?
Kind of in between with Queen Naja.
I Am Too.
Her last release, The Butterflies, was that? Yeah. Something Butterflies. That was pretty good. That I would say that was a better project.
Well, this one was Blackstreet.
Right.
Like, you knew that was
Yeah.
the Blackstreet song. But I like it. I like it. So like they'll take the main melody of those songs and then they're turning it into like, I done heard a Project Pat song that y'all just blatantly just took the whole beat from. Like, I don't really know how I feel about those. Like, even Pity Pablo's the one that Sweetie did, the Rich Nigga That's My Type song.
Oh yeah, Freakily.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about you just, I feel like those should be considered cover songs and not necessarily y'all. Like, I hope that it is being worked out in the background, that whoever had the original sound, came up with the original melody, I hope that they're getting everything that they're supposed to. Because I feel like it's not creative to me.
Because I believe there is a way to do that, because even if it's not technically the lyrics of the music, even if it's the same cadence, you still should receive credit because it's your original song. And that's what some of like the lawsuits, like with Migos when they were getting ready to go through that lawsuit for Stir Fry. The guy said that it was originally the cadence of his song. And I don't know all the details of it, but it's like, I believe there is a way to do so, because it's kind of like it would be considered like songwriting in a sense, you know?
Yeah, well, what I have seen is that they are I don't know about all of them because I haven't really paid attention to all of them, but for the most part, most of them, they do give credit to whoever wrote the song. My question is yeah, you give credit to the person who wrote the song, but what about the person who actually came up with the melody of the music that you used? What about if you decided to maybe whoever created the beat didn't necessarily create the drums, that person who made that drum pattern, because most of the time the song still has the same rhythm section. It has everything to it. It's just maybe slightly different as far as the feel of the song, but overall, that song was Freakily. Like you knew that, or you knew that was the Blackstreet song. It wasn't you, but you used the melody. You used the piano melody of that. So who gets credit for that? Are they getting credit for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another one. So we got Curtis Mayfield's Give Me Your Love.
Oh.
That one, right? Now, this goes into where I say that songs like this one, and then I think Isaac Hayes has some as well. But then you have Kool in the Gang with Summer Madness. Then you have Roy Ayers with Searching, Everybody Loves the Sunshine. Like those types of songs where it's more music than it is vocals is why I appreciate to be able to hear music the way that I hear music. This is why when I create music or I'm listening to music to critique it, I originally go to the music first before I go to the lyrics, because I don't necessarily need lyrics in order for me to enjoy the music. So this is the reason. Your mother is the reason why I'm so into. The music has to click for me first before anything else.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like, right? So then we got Mary J. Blige, who came out with it in the 90s. Because this came out in 72. See why I'm going. I started with the 70s, because that's the vibe, that's the feel that I grew up on, that I love, because I like the way the music sound in that era. And then you get Mary J. Blige.
Anytime if you see me bobbing my head, it's because I'm still listening to the music in my head. Or like if you're talking about a certain song, I already hear it, so I'm just already.
Oh, you already know what I'm about to play?
Yeah.
This is one of my top 10 Mary J. Blige songs. Right?
Hey.
That's one of my go-tos. If I'm in the Mary mood,
all right.
yes, all of that. But then we recently had you.
Bruh, you ain't even gonna play that. You don't even have to play that.
I want to play it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it.
Didn't do the song any justice.
You don't think so?
And you know what? I'm upset because, like, I'm more upset with Ari Lennox than I am Lucky Day. I'm upset because, like, I'm mad at the way.
Go ahead.
I'm just mad that they didn't play it the way they were supposed to play it.
How was they supposed to play it?
How I see it in my head, that pair together is Shy Guy meets the
aggressive woman,
the bad girl, you know. So it's like, come on, like, and then the song is called
Access Denied.
Access Denied. Like, come on. Like, she could have easily, like, played him. You know what I'm saying? She could have built him up in the song. And then it's just about access denied. it just, I don't know. It just they could have definitely spent that in a much,
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. But go ahead and play it.
So let me find out you trying to be a songwriter on the low.
Hey, if you need some help, I can help you create the vibe. Okay? That's what I do. And then, like, you think about the video. Like, I'm thinking of the video. Like, it could have been, like, they could have been in a dance hall. You know what I'm saying?
A dance hall?
Like, they could have been dancing, and it could have just been, like, I don't know. I visualize when I listen to music.
I do too.
So it's like, it just could have been played. It could have been played way better.
Okay, so out of the three, which one would you go to?
Honestly, I would listen to the Curtis Mayfield. I would listen to the Curtis Mayfield, Mary J, of course.
Yeah.
Mary J, of course. But like the Curtis Mayfield, like it's nothing like the original.
No.
In that case.
No. I think the Mary J. Blige version gave you that era's feel. Mm-hmm. So that's why it works. And then it's the tone of her voice in that song. Like some people try to say like when it comes to vocals, everybody can have their place. Mm-hmm. Everybody does not need to sound like Beyonce. Everybody doesn't need to sound like Jasmine. Everybody doesn't need to sound like her. Like, if you have a distinction in your vocals that's not what everybody else sounds like, I feel like you have a better advantage, because if you can hone into the sound of your vocals and make sure that your music and who you work with, who your songwriters, who your producers are, who your engineers are, if all of them know how to make your vocals work. And I'm not talking about you singing and then they have to correct your pitch on everything. I'm saying, no, take my sound and create around my sound. Mm-hmm. It can work.
Because you can take, for an example of what you're saying, you can take when the clip of when Diddy made Keisha Cole.
Yes,
do that part over and over and over again to get it right.
Yes, I remember that because I thought about that as well. It's like Diddy ass can't sing a note worth shit, but he made sure that he got what he got it out. Mm-hmm. And that's what people don't understand. Like, remember the conversation we had earlier this week. My ultimate goal is to be a producer, not a beat maker. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. I understand what my lane is right now. My lane is to be able to master, being able to create beats, so that when it's my time to release it and I can be like, okay, I want you to make this drum loop for me. I'm hearing this. Give me this sound. Or I'm saying, I hear this chord progression on the guitars. I hear this transition. I want this reverse transition. Like all of those things. I want somebody else to do that. That's what a producer is. Okay, now you go in the booth and I want you to sing it this way. Nope, I don't hear that. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not the right note. That's not the right note. Like that's what I want to. That's the end goal for me. But you have to be able to master those things first so that you can convey it out to who you need to say, do this, do this, do this. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand what music theory is, then you can't tell an artist that they're not singing the right key in the booth. So I know that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I that's what my passion is. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to continue to keep doing. Mm-hmm. So we got another one. I think this artist, I feel like her run got cut short, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm talking about A. Marie. She came out in the early 2000s. And she had a nice run for I want to say she had two solid good albums. And then she had a third one. It was like, I don't know what happened. But she had a song called All I Need.
Was that third album about the time when Tamia came out?
Tamia been out. Tamia was out before Amerie. You talking about Stranger in My House, Tamia? Is that what you talking about? Is that what you was talking about?
Hey, y'all.
Get it together.
Ooh-wee.
Right? So you got that song. I feel like a lot of people slept on this song, don't really know about that. She go in on this one. Right? The original was somebody named Jane Carney, I want to say. I'm so terrible with names. Do not judge me. So you got the long intro.
I'm missing it. Oh. Wait a minute. Okay, you gotta play Amerie's again. Okay. Okay.
You heard it?
Okay.
Now you see what a chop is? See, and this is another thing I need people to understand. When you're not just taking an 8-bar or 4-bar loop and just putting it in and just adding a filter on it, because there are some beats that do that as well. But when you actually take the time to find small little pieces of an old song and you chop it up and you create something new out of it, then you create it becomes yours. Yeah. I feel like it becomes yours then. It becomes yours. So what I need people to understand is that we do have our sound of music and our generations are close, and I feel like it's too much separation between at least our generation and maybe my baby's generation. Like, we're pretty much listening to the same shit.
Yeah.
Or it's being created by the shit that we grew up on. And I feel like in order for us to bridge the gap, if you're going to sample these music now, because we're so close in the sound, maybe to help yourself out as an artist or to help out those that you are sampling from, put the shit together. Make a remix. Do a remix of the song that you're using. Like, 2 Chainz and Ariana Grande did Rule the World, right? That was a song that Amerie had did as well, the Why Don't We Fall in Love. So what I was thinking, I'm like, it would have been fire if they would have just went ahead and made a visual and did a remix, and you had Ariana Grande and Amerie with 2 Chainz in the video, and give Amerie a piece of like something that her and Ariana could have did together to blend it together. Like show people that yes, this was a simple song. Like let's get creative. We've already been getting back to the videos being done a certain way, and I felt like when they came out with remixes to videos, that's a way to draw people back into that song, because that's how a lot of times people say that there's so much going on or it's so much music being put out, but if you want to bring it back to those songs, then you can go ahead and do that as your marketing tool.
Yeah.
You could do that. And I know that I like to sample. I like using samples. I like trying to figure out different ways to sample. I'm going to continue to keep learning different ways to sample. I watch a lot of tutorials. Shout out to Stace. I hope you do make sure that you continue to keep doing those videos, because that's just going to inspire me to figure out other ways to sample music, because it is an art form. Mm-hmm. It's an art form. And I just don't want us as creatives to get lazy with sampling to where we're just doing a ripoff because we know this was a hit song back in the day and now we're going to come out with it now.
Yeah, don't just sample the known music, because automatically everybody's going to know. Like, give a challenge. It doesn't have to music should always challenge you in your ear. It doesn't only have to be songwriting. It doesn't only have to be, sound, you know what I'm saying? It just, like, when you come together to create a song or anything like that, it just has to challenge your listener to say, what exactly am I listening to?
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm definitely if you haven't already, I do have an instrumental album. It's called Vibes of This Gemini. It's on all streaming platforms. I believe there's 3.
Yeah, you got the Luther sample.
I got the Luther sample. I have Angela Bofield that a lot of people sleep on. I got that. I have a Drew Hill one, 4, and a Shantae Moore sample. Go check them out and let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think about the way that I sample. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep growing. I got some new ones that I've been working on. It's just that that's one of the challenges that I have, is that I don't want to sample things that's already been sampled over and over again. It could be easy for me to just go ahead and do that, but I feel like it's not a challenge. Yeah. It's not a challenge for me. So I try to find other stuff that maybe nobody is really paying attention to.
Yeah. So as we evolve in R&B, continue to revolve, like definitely, like, the fact that just these examples that we talked about today shows how much R&B music has an influence on a lot of music. You just don't necessarily know about it if you don't talk about it. So we need to start talking about the originals more and, shedding light on those as well. Yeah,
because I feel like this could be the beginning of a deep conversation, like a continuous conversation, because there's so much more. There's so many more songs that we can go through and say, this was the original, this was that, this was that. So we can, if y'all want us to keep doing stuff like this where we break down the originals versus what's present or something that you've known, let us know down in the comments below, because I definitely love talking about this. We can continue to keep talking about this all the time.
Yeah, for sure. This has been a great episode. I learned a lot. Kind of want to go back and listen to a couple of these songs that we talked about today, because I kind of did not know. So you taught me something today.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode
of
Perception Vibes. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Instagram _cool Breez. No E on my name, because I'm cool like that.
And you can follow me at Shake House MG, all one word.
new episodes on Thursdays and catch us live on Instagram
every Friday.
For the Traffic
Light
Show.
Red.
Tune in this Friday to Traffic Light Special. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Crazy.